Yo, what's up? This Carceno, man. Yeah, I heard a lot of you guys your statements that you made beforehand. They were pretty interesting. You made some very valid points. We were having that hip hop discussion, and I don't know when you guys might see the video. You know, some of you may not get that notion back, or get that type of rapport back, or something of that nature, where from the conversation. And then you guys brought that up. Well, if you're not a Patreon member, you won't probably know what I'm talking about. But for the Patreon members, we was having a hip hop discussion earlier, and the conversation drifted into Eminem. So Eminem was supposed to be this end all be all of everything of existence in hip hop, and it turned out that that turned left for him. But at one point, to be that guy or to be the one, he had to, transcend. And only for him to transcend to be, that guy to where other people gonna really say, okay, he had to do Biggie's not here no more, but him getting on Dead Wrong and dropping a verse on Biggie's album, you know, he had to drop something that would be memorable. And then he had to, on Renegade, actually drop something that would be memorable. So the Renegade verse ended up being one of his probably most known verses that people would actually say over and over again. And that's because he was on there with Jay Z, who they were calling the king of hip hop at that time, and Jay was at the top of the game at that moment. So for him to outshine Jay Z on that record, even though that's Royce's record, like him and Royce record on Renegade. So Eminem basically used Royce verse and flipped that to do the Dead Wrong song. That's like flipping Royce's verse from Renegade. And I've always was questioned about that. I'm like, Renegade was a track with him and Royce, same verses for Eminem, you know, and now you just took Royce's his vocals off, and Jay's vocals are in, and of course Jay don't fit. This record wasn't for him, so it's basically an Eminem record that Jay Z got on, but it's on Jay Z's album. So when it's like, oh man, you outshined him, Jay kind of played himself by doing that. Now, that came out in 2001 when the Towers dropped, Blueprint. So on 9/11, 2001, the Blueprint is here. So once the Blueprint hits, Jay Z was like King Kong. Eminem and Jay ended up, making a bond because that really helped bridge Eminem over into the black audience, more to where they were more than acceptable to listening to Eminem record and giving him more of a chance because, they was like, oh man, he got off on Renegade. So that did wonders for him, until 50 Cent came and then took it to another level for Eminem. Now, when 50 was going at it with Jay and all of these things, and they were kind of touching each other light and dissing each other slightly, going back and forth. 50 and Jay kind of had this, relationship rapport where it was competition, but friendly competition, respectful competition. They never got a lot of, And M wouldn't want that, and that would have to be a discussion before they decided to even venture down that road. If there was going to be some type of disdainment. Now, here's the news. What made things even weirder at the time. Everybody seems to know when, where, or how something's going to go down. Right? They seem to know everything about that. How it's going to go down, where it's going to go down, the whole hit. Now, the main problem that I keep running into is when people seem to know all these different things, they turn around and they end up knowing nothing about everything that's going on around us, surrounding the hit record. Like Jay Z and Eminem started to, perform together. They came to do this event in Detroit. Jay Z came out and they went to Tiger Stadium, performed, and did songs together, and they were seemed like peas in a pod. Then Eminem does a song where he basically admits the Nas verse when Nas dropped Ether, and he said, "That's why M bodied you on your own song." Eminem was the first one to jump up and to say, "No, no, no, I didn't body Jay Z." That was each guy giving his best. He gave the right political answer right away. But the streets had made their statement that Hove got bodied on the song, on that record. And they have done, like many of appearances together, rhyming and doing the record. Jay Z even, encouraged Beyonce to work with Eminem and do the song Walk on Water for his revival album. Then on the next album, you're talking about you bodied Hove on Renegade. That struck a chord with Jay, and Jay was not happy when he heard that line, despite of what he's going to tell you. So everybody was like bringing that up as soon as it happened. So this was him talking about it.
Eminem and Nicki.
Yeah, see,
Like, because Nicki held on.
but that's cool. That's fine because we do that as just a human nature. But as long as we enjoy the record, right?
Were you offended? Were you offended by the concept when people say you got murdered by him on your own shit? Did that bother you?
No, I think he's a very intelligent rapper, and it's just when you make 4,000 songs, I'm a constant collaborator. Some people are gonna have better days. It's just the way it is. But if we count the amount as a competitor, if we count the amount of records that I've been on versus people who've had better performances, then it's gonna be like 400 to 3.
You're looking at the total record.
Yeah, but I'm just really just trying to make a great record. I don't get a person to hope they have a bad performance.
Right. Yeah, no, that wouldn't be odd. That doesn't work for you. It's your record.
Yeah.
So that was before the actual song come out, because that was when people were talking about it. And they say, well, people says Eminem bodied you on Renegade. So that was his approach to that. But when Eminem came out and said it himself, that rubbed Jay the wrong way. Because Jay is like, why does he feel this comfortable to say this to me now? Like after all these years, for 20 years, you never said that. And now you feel bold enough to say that. Like, It's because that interview right there touched Eminem in a certain way. It made him feel like, oh, he really feels like, you know, it was just, you just had a hot line. That's it. But, I got better songs than you. If we go song for song, then, it's like 40, 183 to 400 to like 3. Like it's not even a comparison. Like Eminem wasn't in his caliber or his league. And it was insulting to Eminem. So that's why he went out and said, I body hold on a record, like I buddy hold on Renegade. So they haven't really been tight since then because that pissed Jay off because he realized I just let Beyonce get on your record. I convinced her because she didn't want to do it. Beyonce wasn't going to do Walk on Water. Jay convinced her that it would be a good thing and a good look for her if she did Walk on Water for Eminem. And when the record really didn't move, she was like, I told you. I didn't feel it. So the record didn't do what it was supposed to do. Adele turned it down for scheduling conflicts, they say, but I don't think she really wanted to do it. And M kind of, Beyonce was there, the song didn't take off. It happens. And this album dropped, Kamikaze, and, you know, things were said. This man says he bodied Hove. And Jay didn't like it. So since then, Jay wasn't really dealing with him. Dr. Dre and the whole Super Bowl thing, Jay had basically turned it over to Dre. As far as who he wants on his team for, like setting it up, seconds, thirds in command, assistant directors, and, it's just a lot of people, a lot of cooks in the kitchen. So when Jay got there for rehearsals, they're getting ready to do the rehearsals and everything else. Before they even got to that point, Eminem was gonna be there. And Dre was like, "Yeah, M's gonna be here." So Dre and Eminem, everybody just knew that would be exceptional with Snoop. So this is gonna be great, and here comes the whole rest of the cast, and everybody made a statement after it was over about Game actually being there. So I don't know what's the word I could use to describe what that feeling was like. Gotta be quite awkward. But Eminem was going to be there, but this was it. It's Eminem, Dre, Snoop. Big three. And Jay Z's gonna land and be in the middle of them, So we don't know how that's gonna play out, but sky's the future, right? Because Jay says basically, I don't know, basically like how much time she got. And you gotta remember that this whole thing about Jay, that's why his attitude was the way it was. Dre didn't bring 50, Eminem did. So you're looking at a different cause of effect. So right away it was, Jay was like, they was like, man, so who brought 50? He was, the white boy. He brought him. It was the way he said that. And he specifically said the white boy on purpose. Instead of saying M brought him. When he normally would say M, he disrespectfully called him the white boy on purpose. Because he was pissed off about that. That he was okay. See, the thing with Jay is, he cool if fans think that. But for the artist himself to who first didn't have that energy to now be like on a song talking about a body hole on Renegade. It's like, what would you say that for, G? Is that how you really felt? So what you saying? You better than me? So Hove is, not going to express it like that. He's going to sit with it and be quiet, but be real angry about it. And it's more than an anger. It's more of a disappointment. Or how dare you feel that you could be in that position to do that to me? He's still a guest in hip hop. So him calling him the white boy went a lot further than what you guys really knew or understood. It was bigger than that. Now, they're not enemies or nothing. Like, he ain't opposed to Eminem being at the, it was Dre's show. I'm quite sure he knew Eminem was going to be there. And Jay don't have the power to ban Eminem. That's not going to happen. So that's out of his hands anyway. Like, he couldn't stop 50 Cent from being there. There was nothing Jay could have done to stop 50 from being there if M says, I want 50 Cent here. Oh, no 50, then I ain't doing it. Because it really don't make sense without 50. Because 50 had equal success to Eminem. So, you trying to tell me he didn't? His whole first 2 albums did Jay Z's whole catalog. So, what are we talking about? So it is what it is, people. It's all pettiness, but Jay and M got some new songs on Khaled album. Everybody kind of listening and waiting on Khaled to see if he's gonna diss Jay Z, diss the game or something on that level. But I see it a little different than that. I see it as instead of him dissing the game, I think he'll just use that as publicity and make some subtle lines. But I doubt it. He might have already had this pinned before the game diss song actually dropped. But I wouldn't be surprised if some show up and do his verse, do a 2-minute, 3-minute verse, and just going off. And, Twitter world blow up. Oh my God, it's the greatest thing. Eminem's verse. Oh my God. As soon as I saw Eminem was on it, Jay was on it. So that's coming. So we'll see how that go. I'm very interested to see how it turns out. I think it comes out this Friday. So, yeah. I might release this video Thursday night or something. Because it's Monday, people. Yeah. That's how ahead of the game Cino is. Cino make his videos early. Yeah, I'm interested to see it. It might be a pretty interesting album. Controversy and beef brings out the best in people. Especially musically. And, Nas needed Jay to diss him to get him mad enough to drop Ether and put out, Stillmatic. Would Stillmatic have been that dope if it wasn't for that beef? Would Blueprint be so dope if Jay didn't feel confident that I got Nas and Mobb Deep? Would it really have that because that was the height of his arrogance and everything. He was boastful. That moment he felt like I did it. He had made it. But we shall see. We shall see. Anyway, shouts out to everybody who's creating and making positive videos out there. Videos. And shouts out to Kwame Brown Bus Life. Subscribe to him. Subscribe to Sister T. Subscribe to HDTV. Ticket TV. And every other TV out there. Everybody got TV now. So, except for that Mr. Skinny TV. Yeah, F him. Don't subscribe there. Anything else, it's all good. Love, peace, and hair grease.